Listen, welcome to TFG tonight. I'm your host, Mr. Haynes. Everybody in that place, but once he out of here, guess what? Pop, and all of us coming down. That's why I had to go and talk about Ivanka right quick because they coming.
Oh,
you is,
this is what I love about President Barack Hussein Obama. No matter what, he kept it 100.
Wow. I was just going to bring that up.
That's right. Yeah. So listen, if my company told me that I had to do something that I said, man, that's a little, we tripping. I mean, bro, half the country voted for a man that took diversity out of employment. Half the country voted for that man.
Listen, what's up, y'all? I just want to tell y'all something. Now, we all family here, and the reason why I'm looking like this is because if y'all was backstage with me just like 30 seconds ago, one of the family members is on one tonight. I'm gonna let y'all figure that out when they come on, but I just want y'all to know it might go down tonight. Just in case y'all know. Good morning, Asia, Alaska, whoever else is up at this time of the day. What's up, everybody? Y'all like? Y'all like that? Y'all like that pitch? What's good, y'all? Hey, welcome to TFG tonight. I am your host, along with my other family members, Mr. Haynes. Hey, y'all, it's good to see y'all. I haven't seen y'all in 7 days. When y'all come in, y'all say what's up, man, so we can holler at y'all. Hey, I ain't gonna play around because we already 6 minutes late. Listen, it ain't my fault, just so y'all know. We late, but hey, y'all know how we do this thing. Let's get into it. Listen, we back with DJ, keeping up with the Trumps. And I had a story at first, but then something else came down the pike, like breaking news. I wish I had like a little sign that says breaking news. Y'all know how to do it, right? So apparently Trump is doing an interview with Candace Owens. Yeah, y'all know, like, I don't want to talk bad about it, but Candace, you know, somebody's baby's mama now, right? To be honest with you, y'all, I in my never to be humble opinion, I'm not sure what reason Donald Trump would want to talk to Candace Owens, but we're gonna see. He's talking now, so I guess he's trying to do something, but I'm really interested. I ain't gonna watch it live, but I may end up watching it though, so we can see what's up. But yeah, he's talking to Candace tomorrow for some reason. So we'll see what's up, right? But let's keep it up with DJ today, y'all. Hey, let's bring the family on and see what's up. Who we got this morning? Who in the house? Oh, y'all fronting? Oh, I'm finna. Let's see. Y'all on one. What's up, everybody?
What's going on? How
everybody doing all right?
Yeah,
oh,
hey.
Y'all ain't over there? What's up, boss?
What's going on?
Man, look here, man. You got that what's the Tupac in the family? What was they? The Death Row look, bro. What's up?
Oh, I'm on one tonight. Trust me.
So we got two of y'all. He told on himself, so y'all watch it tonight. Hey, y'all, good morning. Hey, everybody doing? Yeah. Y'all excited?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna watch Candace talk to Donna?
Man, nobody gonna watch it. Ain't nobody watching that bull crap, man. I don't even know why in the world does he even get any airtime on TV. Like get rid of this idiot.
Never. Listen,
you know what? I might just watch it just for entertainment.
It ain't even entertainment. If you call that entertainment, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I just want to see if he's gonna say something out the way to Candace. You know, let's listen.
I want to see if Candace will get a reality check right there.
Hey, you know, on the sitcom Soul of a Nation, this is one of their running things. They always ask, when was the first time you realized that you were black? I think she's gonna realize something if Donald Trump trip out on the show.
I'm not gonna bag her. I'm not gonna down her like for everything that she says. Some of the stuff she does have points, but for the most part, she be I be with her, and then I be like, ooh, you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man. I don't know what she be thinking when she come out of her mouth. I be like, what? Oh, just shut up. Just stop talking.
Listen. Well, let's go. Let's get started, y'all. What we got on the agenda today? Speaking of the clan, right? The death row. Listen, cousin Rudy, and I ain't talking about Rudy's chicken either, but his goose probably cooked because he fooling around with Jesse James, Miss Letitia James, man, and she got a warrant, y'all, last week. She got a warrant. Like, this is kind of deja vu because this reminds me like of Michael Cohen. This is like they got your phone, dog. So they gonna see all the child stuff and whatever else you've been doing stuff and what you've been getting your rock, y'all. Well, so Rudy was talking big smack like a year ago, right? About that he wished somebody would come do this, that, and the third. Did he just get deboed?
Yes, he got deboed. He got smooth deboed.
So
this is my bite, punk.
So guess what? Right. So apparently, and Rudy's son came out, bro. Like, I ain't never seen this dude for in my life, but he came out and started tripping about this is not America. This is how in the world can the former president? That's you out already because don't nobody in the group call him the former president. So I gotta see you in trouble. Right. So when he said that, it was like they came and they did my dad like this, and I said, well, maybe he should call Michael Cohen because it's about to go down. So, what y'all think? Y'all think this is the end for Rudy?
He in trouble.
He locked up. They won't let me.
Well, speak on it, Black.
They won't let me.
I do think he's in trouble. Number one, when they come after you, the reality is they already have something. They don't serve that warrant and execute it without already pretty much having enough knowledge to know what they're looking for. And even though his son is talking about it's a frame job and hollering the same old rhetoric that we were used to hearing for 4 years, the difference here is that, number one, you don't have that guy in the White House now operating machinery behind you that could get you off. A lot of the limelight has dialed down, and I don't know if they realize that they're under a new administration. These people have been waiting for Donald Trump and his cohorts to come out of office. They've been salivating at the bit, knowing that they were going to make their lives a living hell. And Rudy Giuliani, for the last 4 years, has operated without impunity, doing the dirty work. And if he had learned anything else, Donald Trump is the one who usually escapes, but the people associated with him, they're the ones that's usually found guilty. Except now he don't have Donald to bail him out. He's going to be on his own.
Man, big time. And you right, and you said it right. Like, you can't just get no warrant because you said Sister Mary Clarence saw him at the donut shop with Aunt Teresa. No, it don't work like that. Like, they already got to have something physical that's like you could already be charged with something. And they saying,
absolutely.
Well, if we go get that phone, this going to corroborate the story. That's it. And so, yeah, what you got, Dwayne? What you got?
Sir, can you please step outside?
Come in.
We like to serve you. You've been served. That's exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah,
That's
he in
exactly
trouble.
what's about to happen.
Yeah, Rue, what you think?
Man, all right, accountability. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. I want to see what they find. What do they plan? Okay. What are they planning on finding? Like,
so
in reality, what are they actually looking for?
Yeah.
One of the charges that is serious says he acted as a foreign agent.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, when Donald Trump was in office at the very end, he literally on his own dime went over there to a foreign country, spilling American secrets. So now they always talk about how we not supposed to share information. He was acting as a foreign agent trying to dig up dirt on Biden and his son, when in reality, he was sharing information that should have been classified. So the fact that they're even thinking about that charge, like you just said, Brenton, they already have some facts.
Oh, yeah.
They need to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Yeah.
So they basically mad because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, what he was sent over there to do in the first place, and was
Donald Trump might be mad because he didn't find the dirt, but he was sharing sensitive information with a foreign government.
So he was looking out for himself.
That's espionage. That's a federal crime. That's espionage.
I know it's a. I'm not discounting the fact. I'm saying what he was doing was looking out for himself.
Yes.
So, and the only reason why he getting caught is because he didn't do what he said he was going to do with somebody else.
And he left a electronic paper trail. He
was stupid.
I
got it.
There you go.
I got it.
And here it is, right? Here it is. It's the big thing, right? The Mavanovich, I can't remember her name. Like the biggest one that they finna fool with is when he got her fired. The ambassador, Maria Yovanovich is her name.
Yeah,
right. Remember when she testified?
Yes,
right.
Yes, and man, they destroyed her. And so, listen, it's a lot of petty people. Y'all think there's a lot of petty people on this show? No, it's a lot of petty people in Washington D.C. Right? But listen, it's some petty people that's going to get back at Cousin Rudy because he tripping, and she gonna start with the most obvious one, and that's Yovanovich, and that's like it's hashtag privilege is gonna be, it might be infamous after this year is over with, right? Maybe after the next 4 years. But I'm gonna tell y'all be ready because these boys gonna come back, and they come back with a vengeance. So y'all be careful. All right, that's Rudy. That's Cousin Rudy, and we'll see what's up, Rudy. Maybe Michael Cohen I'll give you some pointers. Oh yes, hey. So did y'all check out our 46th president? That 46, 46th president. His State of the Union last Monday.
I didn't watch it.
Okay, all right. No, anybody else? Nobody. Show of hands. No hands. Okay, all right. Well, I watched it, and I want to say this: he about as long as an old man would be. I mean,
that's why I didn't watch it. That's why I didn't watch it.
He was long.
I mean, yeah,
he was long, right? Yes. Hey, his name Sleepy Joe was definitely put to work because he put Teddy Cruz. I mean, to night. You hear me? Yeah, put him to sleep, Doc. Listen, but I will say this because this is one thing that I talked to the team about it this week. I found out some information before because one of his things was about how he was going to pay for things as it relates to his plans. And it's really funny. Someone told me that they had to take a survey on their job. And in this survey, the job was asking them questions. Would you rather have a raise on your job, or would you rather have cheaper medical insurance? Or would you rather have longer paid time off? Or would you rather get a percentage raise on your job? It's like, what are y'all talking about? And what's going on? And the reality is that the reason why they were doing that is because, see, these folks been talking. Like before they talk to us on camera, they talk behind closed doors, y'all. And so the reality is that these companies, these Fortune 500 companies and so on and so forth, these folk are already trying to figure out how they finna get their money back from all this money Biden has been trying to give.
What did I say? What did I say? I asked the question. I remember asking this question. Where do they think the money gonna come from? I specifically asked y'all, where is the money gonna come from that the corporations got to recoup now? Where is it gonna come from? And now here we go.
Yeah,
we already know that they was gonna try to recoup it back from us as a people.
Everybody all excited and stuff.
Like, that's what I'm saying. People are all excited to get this little extra money and all this and all that. Don't, bruh.
So here's my true problem with politics in general, regardless of the side, and that's why I've said consistently from the beginning, I despise all politicians.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of party affiliation, because it's the great big okie doke. To Rule's point, you trot out some popular ideas to get elected, and you tickle the ears of the people, and you come up with these big agendas. But here's my problem. I'm an educated man. Now, you want me to not to think that economics 101 is so difficult. It really isn't. It really isn't, guys. So, as a test market, now you want to poll us as American citizens to ask us a question about which would we rather choose, a raise or health insurance? When in reality, they spend billions of dollars on things that aren't necessary. So let me throw something out there for the layman, for example. Now, also, he's talked about in his address how he's withdrawing troops out of Afghanistan. It's literally the longest war in history, and he's finally bringing them home. I don't trust my judgment. You do the math yourself, and my brother, you're a military man. Talk to us about how much money is spent on military operations around the world, and that if you just use a portion of that, we shouldn't have to worry about how infrastructure is going to be paid with. And I bring back everybody's attention what I said before. Right here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, they spent $500 million on 2 Senate seat races, but then you worry about how we're going to pay for something like infrastructure. When meanwhile, they're spending trillions of dollars on things that aren't necessary. So fundamentally, for me, politics is broken at its core because we don't take care of the necessities. People are starving, people are homeless, but we'll send a helicopter to Mars. Why is that necessary? And then you want to put it to the American people about whether we should choose our health care versus infrastructure. And still you want to run out here and tout ourselves as we're the number one in the world. It's a big fat joke, and it's a big fat parlor game. And that's why I despise all politicians.
Well said, sir. I see Lamb Levity's asking about whether it's safe to withdraw the troops. Well, I don't think it's never safe to do anything when you're there to help, because ultimately what's going to end up happening is, once you leave, right, they're going to come out and play. I know all the free, and that's the problem when you interfere in people's situations. And then when you get tired of being over there, then it's like those folks are left to now what? Be mauled and ransacked and pillaged. I mean, where's the humanity in any of that? So listen, diplomacy is difficult, but at the same time, in the words of our former president, he gonna look out for America first, right? so I don't know.
Now, in my opinion, that's the one thing he got right. It might not be popular to say it, but I agree with it.
Yeah.
So, I don't even really think he looked out for America just because he talked about it.
I'm not saying he did it, but I agree with the sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was that sentiment or was that malicious rhetoric to get in the office? I believe it was just malicious
of course
rhetoric.
It was that. But I'm saying I agree with the actual sentiment. I have a fundamental principle here. If King Noble, if me and your family is at war and you live across the street from me, you trying to destroy me, I'm trying to destroy you. Now I come over and I bomb your house. Why in the hell would I then turn around and help you rebuild your house after I've torn it down? If you're my enemy, I'm gonna destroy you utterly. I want you gone off the block. Then I'm going to build me a couple of houses on my side of the street. Then down the road, I might think about maybe helping you build a shack. But what we do is Mortal Kombat. But what we do is we bomb the hell out of somebody and then turn around and pour American dollars back into building up their infrastructure. Meanwhile, our bridges, highways, structures are depleted. It makes no sense.
And so the whole thing with that, and to talk a little bit, strategically, that's called unified land operations. Is what we do, to win the hearts and minds of the nations that we, defend, NATO, everything else. As far as is it safe to draw out of these particular Afghanistan right now? I mean, that's a strategic move that was planned above my level. I couldn't give you an answer as to yes and no. Honestly, I mean, Rome tried to conquer Afghanistan with Alexander the Great. Didn't happen. The Russians tried it. Didn't happen. The Prussians tried it. Didn't happen. Countless people tried it and just couldn't do it. So
yeah,
I mean, it's costing more money. I mean, just to be honest with you guys, like when you fire off a missile, it has you have to get clearance to even shoot certain missiles, especially long range missiles. But it costs billion. It costs in the amounts of like $1 billion just to do it. I'm just estimating, but it costs to even fire one.
Sure.
Yeah, fire one rocket. So
right, Ru, you gonna speak on it? I'm sorry. What you gonna speak on?
Sorry, I got distracted by these kiddos coming up in here. But yeah, no, I agree. Spending money unnecessarily, I get it. So what's the solution? I guess is where I'm at. I'm still trying to figure out solutions to things.
There really is no solution. I mean, when it comes to economics and you look at macro and microeconomics, I mean, right now this is a micro thing. We saw the macro and like, let's go over to Afghanistan, let's go over to Iraq, let's go to this. But right now, when you look at the micro, where's the problem at? It's not in Afghanistan. Well, I mean, it's there, but it's in Syria, it's in Africa, Northern Africa, it's in all these other countries, where we're having these outbreaks of problems. So, to focus resources somewhere else. Is it a good idea? Yeah, but I mean, that's what the military, that's what we do. We strategically plan.
I'm gonna let you have it, Lee. So, hey, man, if y'all see me disappear, it's because I'm under a tornado warning. So, apparently. So, if my stuff shuts down.
What state you live in?
Texas.
We had it here in Atlanta today. Tornado came through Fulton County and other county.
Tornadoes always coming through Fulton County, man. What's up with that?
I'm glad I don't live in Fulton County.
Go ahead. What you have to say?
No, but I was gonna say, I appreciate you bringing up the micro and macroeconomic aspect of it. I was teaching a business class, and even when I explain economics to people, I do it on a level where they can appreciate it. And so I'm not questioning whether they should stay occupied over there or not. Like I love what you said, King Nova. You said that's beyond your pay grade. Those are decisions. That's fine. But I was using them as an example that's just one example. So I'm not picking on the military. That's just one example of where I'm saying that if we use that money, like he just talked about, the amount of money cost to fire one missile, that if we use just a portion of that to take care of the infrastructure, then we wouldn't be having those issues, because we don't ever seem to criticize the NASA program. You know what I'm saying? We don't criticize the many longitudinal studies that we have. Don't take my word for it. Do you realize how many longitudinal studies out there right now over completely foolish shit? Excuse me. But I'm talking about studying why one rock is more dense than another, or why grass won't grow over here or over there. One thing about other people is, I'll tell you this. When I tell you the game is rigged and they got it figured out, they will create a study so that they don't have to do regular work.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think people climb Mount Kilimanjaro? To us as regular folks, when somebody climbs, how many damn times you got to climb Mount Everest and Mount Kilimanjaro, and they still doing it because, well, now that we climbed it, we want to see if the climate up at 10,000 feet, can you grow a potato at 30,000 feet? The amount of money that's being spent on utter nonsense that could be used for better resources. I was just using the military as one example, but that's what's fundamentally wrong with this country, is that we will spend money on everything but people. But what people really need. We will save the trees, we will save dolphins, we will save rocks, but we won't save and feed the hungry. We won't save children from starving. We won't stop women from getting beaten.
I honestly, I really don't even believe that, though. I do believe that there are people that, I mean, ooh. Okay, so this is iffy. Look, this is iffy for me because there are good people out there that actually want to invest in other people. Like, if I had my way, I would set up programs for like homeless vets. Actually build a compound where they have somewhere to go to. That's what I would do if I had the capital. Now, there are Wounded Warrior projects and stuff like that where they just kind of take that money, and I really don't see anything happening with it. So, I guess I get your point with there are sometimes
so the ultimate issue is like, you know, it's a hooks and ladders type thing, guys. So like when we think about doing research on Mars to see if is Mars inhabitable, it's a dressing game. So if I can hook you on something that looks nice, sounds nice, you're gonna spend your money on it. But if I give you a ladder and you gotta climb up and go to the other side and see the dirty part of what's really out there, why am I gonna invest in it? Yeah, it's so sad what's going on with children. Nobody, like, money destroys empathy. And people who have money and people who have the ability to, do research on certain things that think will better America, their empathy is gone. And I agree with Rue with the thing of, if I had money, you darn right I'd open a homeless shelter. There would be a 24-hour basketball gym in every impoverished area. Why? Because kids need a place to go.
So I just got one last question, then I'm done with it. So if you can see that, and you can see that, and we're just John Q. Citizen, where's that same level of humanity from the people who could actually make a difference? If you and I could see that.
Yeah, and that's going to be a rhetorical question because that'll take another 15, 20 minutes. So I want to move to the next story, because this is great information and it's great concern that we need to have. And I would hate not to be able to touch this next subject. And I go cast with a friendly ghost on us. So listen, 100 years ago today, or this month, there was a town in Tulsa, Oklahoma called Greenwood. Right. And this town was a town full of Black people. And this is the reason I wanted to bring this up, because if you look around, this is kind of like a Black show. So not that they did anything for me, but it's history. And to be honest with you, some people in Oklahoma who lived in Oklahoma and went to college in Oklahoma, their first time ever hearing about the Tulsa massacre was in college. Like, how do you not understand what's going on in your own town, and the first time you hear about it was in college?
Because it's under the rug. Because it's a dirty thing to talk about. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to own up to it. Nobody wants to own up to anything they've done to African American people over the past 400 years. You want to take everything that we got, everything that we brought this country. Forget, you know what? I love indigenous people. I love Asian people. But a whole entire country was built on the backs of our ancestors. And we were put in slavery and bondage against our will. And still today, we're still getting treated like we're nothing but a piece of freaking trash on the side of the street. When there was a point where a horse had better accommodations than a human being.
So, okay, and I appreciate. Thank you. I appreciate that. He's on 3 right now. Like I've been jotting him down. He's on 3 now. Hey, so this is the thing, right? It all started with a young man getting onto an elevator with a young girl, and she cried wolf, for the lack of a better term, and that sparked a community uproar for the Caucasian people in that town. And so he was in jail, and so the brothers from Greenwood decided to come up there to make sure that the other people wouldn't try to kill him, because they wanted to kill him. without any due process. That sounds familiar. They wanted to kill him, right? Without any going before a judge, and they did it on the word of a young lady, right? Nobody asked anything else. We call those Karens now, but yeah. So Karen 1921 was she's been around for quite a while. So this then sparks. So ultimately, what ended up happening is the brothers came down looking like Malcolm X when he walked down the street on Denzel with the hand and all that kind of stuff. But they had guns, right? And so one of the guys ended up getting to it, one of the black dudes, and the gunshot went off. And because the gunshot went off, well, what happens after that? Everybody starts going crazy, right?
Scattering.
But the problem is that for some reason they wanted to go and riot, loot. Oh my! They did that back then. I thought those people were animals.
Of course,
did those
they
kind
did.
of things. So they decided to go to Greenwood, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the suburb of Greenwood. And as my man would say to the officer that was at the gas station, we about to send you on a lightning rod. And so they lit that town up, man. And it was full of it was basically, this is what's so funny about this story, and I let everybody chime in. We always think that if we go ahead and separate ourselves out from everybody else, then we'll be all right. So that's not true. They've already tried that one time, right? And so the reality is that they were growing their own food. They had their own grocery stores. They had their own movie theaters. And as long as you didn't bother the other side, well, y'all bothered them, and now they went and lit y'all town up, man. Listen, I've seen Mississippi Burning. I've seen all these other movies that showed black people tearing up their own places, but I've never seen a situation where they would show us how barbaric people of a different race were because of something that didn't even happen.
I mean, to the barbaric, to the point of where you hang a human being in the middle of a town square, and you cut off his genitalia to make an example of somebody. Like, that's.
And to Rue's point, I'm with you, bro. To Rue's point, she said there was more different towns that had very affluent black people that were. You want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. So, okay. So this kind of hits a little home for me because my great grandfather was born 1898 in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and prior. After that, I was trying to trace my ancestry, and I could only see them popping up in Houston about 1916. So apparently some things were going on in order for them to have to migrate towards Houston, towards Texas. But when I was trying to find information, I couldn't find any information because if you try to get information from Oklahoma, their information is sealed. To Oklahoma. You have to actually physically go to Oklahoma in order to get any kind of documentation from Oklahoma. It's really, really weird. And if it's prior to 1921, there's probably nothing. And so it's been really hard to trace my ancestry because that's where they're from. They migrated from Virginia to Oklahoma down into Texas, into Houston, Texas. And this has happened twice. These massacres in my family, in their generation, has happened twice during their history line from what I researched. And when I was growing up, I was told that Black Wall Street wasn't just Oklahoma. It was in North Carolina. It was in Richmond, Virginia. It was in Birmingham, Alabama. It was in Boley, Oklahoma. It was in East St. Louis, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, Rosewood. So Rosewood is in Florida. So in Florida. And there was a bunch of Black Wall Street. And the problem that people had during that time, especially pale skins had during that time, is because the money was circulated at least 11 times before it would even leave the city. So all that money would stay within our community. We had our own churches, we had our own bus lines, we had our own airplane, like flights. We took our own flights. We had our own, everything was ours. And that money stayed within that town. And so from the Oklahoma story, yeah, it started out, I noticed with all the massacres and every single one of these Black Wall Streets, they went up almost the same way. It started with a white woman. It started with a black man. It started with allegations. It started with rights to vote, that having a problem, or their economic growth. And those are all they had in common with these riots. That's how they got started. Is either a white woman said he touched me, he looked at me, he raped me, or I don't like what they have, I'm gonna go take it and burn it up. So it's sensitive to me because they did it again. Them folks took my family's land in Houston.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
Yeah,
go ahead, Black.
And yeah, I don't like it.
So there's a lot to digest here, and there's a saying. They say history is doomed to repeat itself. So I love the story that Rue just told about and highlighted the fact that we talking about Tulsa, but this happened in many places. It's not new. I love that, Brenton, you brought up that Karen has been around for a long time. We have here in 2021, we call her Karen, but Karens have been around for forever. And also, Brenton, you brought up the fact that, sometimes if we think as African American people, that if we segregate ourselves and we build ourselves up and we stay separate from you, that we'll be left alone. Well, here's the thing. The devil don't have to reinvent his tricks because what he does actually works. The reality here is that that's always been happening. It's going to continue to happen. And it even happens today. We just see it in a different way. It's called cultural appropriation. So when Black people
teach the people,
they create, we're the most creative people on the face of this planet.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but and we take things that are that contribute to our suffering and make it so beautiful.
I was literally going there that we can't eat what the master eats, so they gave us pigs, and we now eat from the rooter to the tooth.
Chitlins, yeah.
And so for a long time, that was considered, the worst foods. But now white people eat as much soul food as we do. That's just one example. The way we braid our hair, our fashion, our whatever. And once they see you build something up, they come along and they take it away from us. And Karens have always been around. And that's the way it is, and it doesn't change.
I'm sorry. It's called cultural genocide. Like if I can kill a culture, it's not just a physical means of killing a culture, but if I can integrate and degrade your culture, meaning culturally genocide you.
So you know how they did that? They did that? They created what's called the ghettos. That's why ghettos was created.
Well, ghettos actually started in the Holocaust times. That's what they were called.
And so if something that's why I started off. I said you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If something works, don't change it. So what they figured out a long time ago is even in big cities like New York and Chicago and Oakland and places like that, that if you put a bunch of oppressed people and you put them in the same area and you restrict their movement, then you can control them. And that's why in ghettos, there's a liquor store damn near on every few blocks. That's why if you go back to the 1940s, the Italians, they brought in drugs. And initially it was brought in to control the dark races of people. Mm-hmm. None of this is new. The playbook is all the same.
Yeah.
Like the player that hasn't changed the game ain't changed. Just the
game haven't changed. It's just the players.
If you look at it, like you're saying, Lee, like when you institute a impoverished, institute poverty and some sort of privatization, what's gonna happen? An animal is either gonna submit or it's either gonna take over and make whatever's around it submit. So that's why you have, and you think about it, drugs, gangs. You have all these things that have now been instituted for a superiority complex. Why? I mean, black people continue to kill black people. Yes, white people did it, Italians did it, but there was a reason that they did it. We do it just because you got $5 more than I got.
I want to add one last element to this, guys.
Yeah, and we're gonna move on.
And that's the whole Karen element. The greatest thing in American society, the thing that sits at the top is Karen. The sacredness of a white woman, our movies, our books, our stories, it's all revolved around, that's the most precious commodity. And so that what you talked about, Rue, the common denominator in destroying these different environments was he whistled at a white woman. He did this, he did that. Because dare you defile the most precious commodity. And here in 2021, nothing's changed.
Nope.
And we are the cause of our own suffering at times too. If you look at it from that standpoint, there's a liquor store on every corner. We know how it got there, yet we still drink. You sit there and know that if you are having interracial relations with another party, they don't have the capacity to understand the life that you live. I'm sorry, I don't care. They can empathize, but they're not going to understand yet. Despite the history, you'll see black men with a white woman. I'm not saying that. Look, that's whatever. But
even so to that,
we still do it.
You'll see black women with white men. I mean, and then there's that saying of, well, white men treat me better.
Okay.
And black people do the same thing. Look, black men do the same thing. I'm just saying. My whole thing is that's what contributes. That's what contributes to our own suffering.
I agree with you.
And you can't sit there and we can't victimize ourselves and say,
you.
"Oh, they're doing it to us. They're doing it to us," and we don't. And we still keep on doing the same thing.
I ain't gonna fight you on that one. I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with it too. But I'm just saying we do it to ourselves. So
okay.
I agree with that.
I was throwing a snowball and I saw it rolling. Okay, so listen. Speaking of doing it to ourselves, I got a brother who better do it to himself. His name is Juan Williams. Do y'all watch Fox News? Does anybody?
I passed through.
Yeah, y'all should. I think it's good to not just get one source of thought process because I'm not saying gonna lie about everything, but they do lie. And here's a perfect example.
About 80% of their stuff lies.
Well, okay. Right. So Juan Williams is on the show called The Five, right? And he's basically the only black dude. He's the only black dude on the show. And normally, he's on there whistling Dixie, hey, black guy, what you got for us? Oh yeah, so. Thanks for the black perspective. Y'all know I used to do on Family Guy. Hey, tell us what's going on. Hey, the big black dude be hollering.
It's a really great show.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The parodies, right? Just hilarious that comedy. So all of a sudden, he's had enough. And he actually said, why are y'all spreading these lies about Joe Biden want to cancel meat and Kamala Harris want to do this? And so my man's on national television. I mean, live. We ain't talking about backstage. And he started going off. And he's like, why are we telling these stories and lying and carrying on? And it's what's so funny is, man, like one man on Fox News actually had to go on his show and recant some of the things that he said the prior day. And even a writer for the network, she went on record on a newspaper and said that they were making her write these things. And because she did that, she quit. Because she said she wasn't going to write this stuff anymore because it wasn't true. And I said, well, wow, Fox News is turning into like a little tabloid now, huh? You just want to give salacious stories and just make stuff up.
National Enquirer.
Yeah, I'm thinking Juan Williams, you might not, it's going to go from the 5 to the 4 after this week. What you got, Ruth?
So basically, it's true that it was fake news.
Yeah. Instead of Fox News, you playing
fake news. I mean, I'm not surprised, man. I think good for him to finally have a wake up call on air and be like, you know what? Why are y'all doing this? Why are we doing this? What is going on? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Good for him to finally get that part.
Right.
Like, I'm glad he finally got some integrity.
You're right.
Finally said something.
Yeah, so that's one. It may be another 25, 30 years before somebody will say something on there that, to like just even the playing field, but it is what it is. So that's one of
Williams. At Fox News, they're gonna hand you this piece of paper, sign right here, saying that you will not
me too,
say
Shante.
anything out of the ordinary that we don't tell you to say.
Hey, well, y'all see what happened to old Megan? Is that her name? The one that hey, she got, well, at least she got a movie out of it, but whatever. Listen, y'all. Listen. Y'all know what time it is now, right? It's about that time. Lee, holla at him.
What's up? Well, let me holler at you guys this week about Najee Harris. I know typically when I come on, I have some rants about things that actually upset me, but I also want to acknowledge that I do come across some stories that truly make me proud. And this past week, we had the NFL draft, 4-day affair, and multi-billion-dollar business. Here's a young man that was drafted in the first round by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Go Steelers!
Yes, sir. And he played for Alabama. Roll Tide. Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the first running backs taken in the first round since 2008. And if you know anything about football, of course, the Steelers, the great honor days of the Steelers was predicated on their running game. So that's a whole side story to see that maybe they're getting back to that. But the story here is Najee Harris. Here's a young man that him and his mom and 4 siblings, they grew up in a homeless shelter. And 3 hours before the draft, while everybody else was sitting in the rooms dressed up and waiting for their name to be called, and they had their family around, and this is their big moment, as well it should. This is a proud moment. These kids have worked their tails off to get to this point to hear their name calls. You know what this young man was doing? He was hosting a party at a homeless shelter, feeding them and letting them know that now that his ship was coming in, you could depend on me to always come back here. I got your back because I'm never going to forget where I came from. And I wanted to highlight this story because so many times when we think of young athletes, especially in football and basketball, we see the other side. We see the bling and the selfishness. And I'm a 53-year-old guy. And so many times we see this younger generation of that age group, they can't wait to get their hands on some money so that they can bling and flash and show off and all these kind of things. The humility and honor and character that this young man has, they picked a good one. And I'm so proud to see this. And for me, it says that character still matters. It still is something that's relevant. So not only is the Steelers getting somebody that has that level of character, this is a story that should be highlighted, because instead of showing what his bling is, what his first car is, he did something that I wish we talked more about, the positive nature that a lot of these young people out here, that they do have character and conscience. They do care about things. And I just want to applaud him publicly for my little segment and say bravo to this young man. He set a fantastic example. Najee Harris.
Listen, man. Lee, appreciate you doing that, man. We talked about quite a few things, man. Way to end a good segment with the show on just highlighting Black people. And I think we should do that more as individuals. And shout out to everybody who's taking care of their kids. Shout out to everybody who's taking care of their family. Right? Shout out to everybody who's working hard, right, to make life better for their family than they had it. So listen, man, we have had a great show tonight, and I appreciate you guys for sharing all the things that you had to share. I know we talked about some pretty tough subjects, but we got to talk about them, y'all, because they're not gonna talk about him. So somebody got to talk about him. So who better yet to talk? Who else better to talk about him but us, right? So listen, man, we got final thoughts. King Noble, Rant Man tonight. You know, on you did good though. I appreciate it, man. What's your final thoughts, bro?
My final thought is wake up. Continue to open your eyes. Continue to see the world for what it is. It's always been nasty. It's always been gritty. But like Najee Harris and a few of us that are out here in this world, we the ones that are trying to make a better world for tomorrow. You know, give us some credit and, you know, stop treating black people like we animals, man, because we're not animals. That's my final thought. I agree.
Good stuff. Bro, what you got?
If anybody wants to help me find information on how to start a compound, I greatly appreciate it. Because I feel like it's doable, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was thinking about it more today. Like, what can I do? Because I was talking about movements yesterday, or at least for the last who I be talking to outside of here. I always talk about the movements. Why people keep doing stupid stuff and why I don't get the Black Lives Matter movement and all this other stuff. And then I'm like, well, why don't I just start my own thing? That's right. So now I'm thinking about that. So stay tuned. I'm going to come out with something. Just wait.
The Roo Room.
The
Roo Room.
Try something. I can't just sit here no more. I'm tired of sitting here and talking about it. Look, I'm trying to find a solution, and now I got to execute it. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do.
Right, Staff Sergeant. Execute.
Well, you heard it execute. You heard it here first on TFG tonight. She's going to start something.
I'm going to start something.
All right, Radio Raheem. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do the right thing. What you got, boss? Boss Black. Let him have it.
Hey, you know, no matter what the narrative is, whether it's Black Wall Street, slavery, current things happening today, we as a people are the most resilient people on the face of this planet.
Agreed.
Don't ever forget that. We cannot be destroyed.
Nope. Yes, we like cockroaches. Keep coming back.
I'd rather be
God's chosen people.
Oh, you want a water? Okay, water bug. Water bug.
I hear you, bro.
Not a water bug.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm in the rain.
Saying,
right
have
now.
you seen a Texas cockroach? Them things are this big. They fight you. Look.
Okay. Those are called Ninja Turtles. Yeah. So anyway. All right. So look, y'all. Listen, we've talked a lot about, like Lee said, the fight and the resilience and all that good stuff. And you know, all I want to say, man, is y'all don't stop fighting. Right. No matter how low you get. You know what I'm saying? No matter how low they try to take you, right? Never stop fighting. And to show you guys what I mean, I got a little clip I want y'all to check out.
There you go. That was clean. That was clean. That was clean. Go. Like that. You got this. Quick. Don't keep your hands up. Don't keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. You good. Go. You good. Don't forget about your right. Don't forget about your right. There you go. Come on. Don't forget about your right. Don't forget about your right. There you go. Boom.
No matter how low you get in life, you just don't have that far to get back up. So keep fighting. That's Black. That's Rue.
You going to hell, boy. You going to hell.
See y'all Monday.